Hello everyone, this is Marcy with Creators Call Shop here on YouTube and Creators Call on Etsy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad all of you are here. Today I'm going to be doing the next video in my series that I'm going to call it Currently Creating. So this will be a type of video where you can check in and see what I'm working on, and then it'll also have its own playlist. But this particular group of videos, I'm showing you the 3 journals that I'm working on for fall. And since I have decided to air them one at a time, probably by the time you see this video, I will have already shown you the finished journals, just for time's sake, so they can get into the shop and be out there. But then I will continue to show this series of journals so you can see how I worked on them and what my process is. So before we get started with that, I want you to grab your drink, get yourself comfy, grab blankie, snack, whatever it is you need, and I will meet you right back here after this. Okay, before we get started, I have been remiss in welcoming my new subbies lately. So the last time I welcomed everybody, we had just hit 100, so that was very exciting, and now we have a few more. So I would like to welcome Dawn Messenger, Denise Thomas, Front Door Photography, Yoselin Lopez, Sandy Miller, V. Wills Designs, and Regina Crystal. Welcome to my channel, you guys. We're so excited to have you join in our gang here. And if I didn't read your name, it's just because your settings are not public. You're not set to be a visible subby. So I'm thrilled that all of you are here, but I just can't see your name. So that's how that works out. Anyway, let's get started here. What I'm going to show you today is how I kind of reinforce some of these holes, or if I need to relocate the holes and I don't like how they are. I'll just show you kind of what I do in my journals, because sometimes the papers are thin, or for example this one right here, I punched new holes, but I don't really kind of like it. I want them to be a little more round, I guess. I just want them to look nicer. So as I go through, I'll be explaining to you, I'll speed up the video and I will explain to you what I'm doing and why I am doing it. So now I'm going to get started and I'll talk to you on the other end of this video. All right, here we go. I'm going to start with the CD pockets first. This one I had punched the new holes in. I don't really like it. I'm having some trouble here with my glue coming out of the bottle, and it gives me fits pretty much through this whole video. I'm using the leftover strips that are from the pages that I had trimmed down in the last video. Now this pocket, I had already glued it together. I'd used some score tape, and so it's a little tricky to trim around, but I make a couple of adjustments so that the paper will fit inside. And then after I get it glued on, taking a good look at it, making sure everything's straight, and I have a little bit of trimming to do up the side there, as you can see. Then I'm going to put in the new holes right where I want them. Using my template, the holes on my template are starting to get a little bit cockeyed looking. They're not exactly where they were when they started out, but they'll still do for this project. And then I'm going to take some of these hole reinforcers that I inked up prior to the video. Let's see, yeah, just stick a couple on the back. And then I think I have a little spot here. Yep, I do. It's got a little gap, so I used the art glitter glue, that fine tip, to fill in. Try to get it laying flat and straight. I think that looks really cute. I think the pattern on that paper, the way it looks with the stripes, is just turned out really adorable. Actually cuter than I thought it would, to be honest. So now I'm going to work on the other two, and these two I had not pre-folded yet. So I'm just picking out what strips I want to use. I like this one with the polka dot. I think it's really cute too. I'm going to switch over to my Aleene's Clear Gel Tacky Glue just because it is going to come out of the bottle for me. And I didn't really want to fight with it the whole time. So that's what we're doing. Gonna lay down the strip and then see how much easier that is because I hadn't pre-folded the pocket. Just smoothing it down, laying it flat, getting any air bubbles out and getting it all nice and secure there. Then I'm going to punch the holes, as you can see. Let's see, here we go. Then I'm going to, I thought I was going to glue it. Nope, I'm putting on the hole reinforcers just to kind of make those stand out, not because they really need to be reinforced, but it just makes it pretty. And I put one on that middle hole, even though I'm not really using the middle hole. I don't know why I did that, but it just adds continuity. I'm going to give a little angle to those. I'm going to trim those off at an angle so that when I fold that flap up, then it doesn't have as much bulk in the corners. That's kind of a trick from mini album days, but it really works well. I'm going to smooth it down. Aren't those cute? And see how they go in each direction. I kind of like how that looks. Now this one, I was actually going to use that side of the strip of paper, and unfortunately when I glued it down, I glued down the wrong side, but you know, that's just one of those things, and it's a junk journal, so there's literally no mistake that cannot be corrected or ignored or made to look better. You just go with the flow, which is one of the things I love about it. So here we go, laying down the paper, and I think right about now is when I realized, oh, I was going to use that side. Oh well. Still looks really cute, to be honest. Wiping up the glue that squeezed through the holes. Trimming it to fit, trimming my little flap at an angle. And then what am I doing? Let's see. Yep, getting ready to fold it all up and glue it in place. In a second here, you're going to see that unfortunately, I didn't give that glue quite enough time to hold, so it popped back up on both of these. But there's always a solution. So going ahead and punching the holes. And I'm going to use reinforcers on these as well, just more for decoration than for function. I just like how these hole reinforcers, once you've inked them up, add little pops of color. It's just so cute. And I put one on that middle hole again, the one that I'm actually not using, but it's okay. It does not look cute. There we go. And as I bring this one over, I realize it has popped open. So we're going to re-glue, and then we're going to clamp. My dad was a woodworker, so long ago I learned the value of clamping. And I didn't realize it was going to translate to paper crafting, but it's a very useful skill in paper crafting as well. Add a little clamp so the glue will hold. And the reason why it's not popping up on that striped one, like I said, is because I had used score tape. So it obviously holds better than glue on this paper. I pronounce it done. I like it. So setting those aside, we're going to go to the next batch. Now these are just papers that need to have a little extra reinforcing around the holes. Nothing fancy, but I just kind of choose colors that I think are cute. Orange for the first page to match the pumpkins, and blue just because. And then this one I use them on the back so they don't detract from the beautiful image on the front. But anywhere that I think the paper might be weak over time, that's where I use a reinforcer. Those are pronounced finished and done. Okay, which ones am I grabbing now? I'm grabbing these two recipes, and I'm going to show you that even though I had punched the holes prior, there are just so many holes there to choose from. I don't really like how it looks, so we're going to cover them over instead. So I'm picking out which two strips I like, and then I decide I want to scallop, so I run over and grab my scallop edge scissors just to make it pretty, because the strips are a little bit wider than what I need, so it's always nice to add a little decoration to the edges when you can. Sometimes I like it, and then later you'll see that I choose to leave the edges straight, so it's okay either way. Trimming to fit. Same here. I really like how those pumpkins stand out with those pumpkin muffins. It all just ties together. I have done this before, but on this particular project, since I was using strips from the pages I had cut down, I think it just added a little extra something, a little extra special element to it that just normal scrapbook paper doesn't necessarily add. I don't know, I just liked how it looked. I'm giving it a crease. It's not quite straight. It's giving me fits. And there are a few shots in here where you see my head in the way because I can't see what I'm doing and I'm trying to get my creases just right. So, apologies for the head shots. There we go. Giving it a good firm crease so it'll lay nicely on the page. And of course you always want to try to glue these straight, as straight as you can with no buckle, otherwise it won't lay flat in the book, in the binder. Lining it up, giving it a good press. Same on this one. I think on this one, yeah, I take a second to double check my pattern because I'm not really sure if the leaves are one direction or not, if it's a directional pattern. I kind of feel like it was, so I had to look at it a couple times just to make sure I got it right. It probably didn't really matter, but it seemed like there was a right and a wrong on that one. There we go. Giving it a good smooth press, firm press, good smooth crease. There we go. And we gotta punch our holes so they go into the binder, and it just makes it look more finished. Now it's got a nice neat edge with only 2 holes, and you know exactly where the pages should go. So pronouncing it done. Now I've got these little pages from that October afternoon pack. And on that one, I was trying to decide which side I wanted to glue the strips of paper on. I don't want to cover up the pretty image with the trees. And I like this notebook paper, those strips there, so I'm going to trim the jaggedy edge off. I also like the color. That brown color is so nice to match with lots of patterns and other colors. Making sure I have the end that I think looks the nicest, although truly it probably didn't matter. And here we go. So trying the art glitter glue again. Hopefully it's coming out of the bottle. I have to keep fiddling, so I keep trying to poke it with that pin, you know, that they give you. It seemed to take a while to start, but then once it does start, you can kind of tell. And then I just I decide to glue all 4 of those, put the glue on all 4 pages at once, and then just lay the strips down. It's about ready to go. There it goes. See, what a difference. When the clog is unclogged, the glue actually works and comes out of the bottle. On this particular page, I'm staying real close to the edge and inside that pink line just because I think it'll look nicer. And then this one has those numbers, so I have to kind of work around that. Because where the paper winds up, I don't want it to cover anything important on the page. And then that one I want to glue on the ABC side and not on the pretty leaf side. And a couple of these I choose to lay the paper down flush with the edge because there's room, and then with a couple of the others where it was a little bit narrower, I fold it around the page. And then that it's already kind of dried and sunk in there on that end, so I had to add a little more glue. I was kind of surprised. . 'Cause, 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 ' see, what are we doing here? Yep. Laying down the last strip. And then taking a look at both sides, giving it a good firm press, and then let's see folding that one around the edge. That one turned out really cute too. Gotta glue some on this side to make that work. And it comes around just enough, but it doesn't detract from the design. Now this one, I kind of wish I had glued it on that side first, because I didn't realize there was the flowery strip, and that's a little frou-frou for our little boys in the pumpkin patch kind of idea, but it covers it enough. And then we're going to line up and punch some holes. I line it up at the top of the page because these are shorter, and again, I like to make sure that the bulk is evenly distributed between the top of the journal and the bottom of the journal as much as possible. So all 4 of these pages will be lining up towards the top of the page, towards the top of the journal, as you can see when I line it up with the template here. Now this cardstock is a little bit thick, so once you add the extra paper and all the extra layers, it's a little tricky to punch. But we do it. And then I'm going to add some of the colored hole reinforcers, and not really because it needs to be reinforced, but it just adds the pop of color and it catches the eye, and I don't know, I just think it adds an extra element of fun and design and who knows what. I just think it looks cute. So let's see, I was going to use the blue on that, but the blues don't match, so I go with the orange instead. And then I don't put any on the back because actually I don't want to detract from those leaves and those trees. I just love that image, it's so pretty. So that one, let's see, the one with the green flowery stripe, we're still trying to cover up a little bit, so add some hole reinforcers on that side. And I don't think I add any to the other one, do I? Nope, I like it how it is. So there we go, pronounced done, all 4. Okay. Now on to these recipe pages, and it's a similar situation where it had the holes, I punched the new holes, and now there are just too many holes, and I'm running out of long strips, I'm realizing. So those are my last 3 long strips, and I'll use them on these 3 pages. And again, there's not a super wide margin to work with, so I just kind of am fiddling around trying to decide, do I want to fold them? Do I want them to lay flush against the edge? Do I just want to trim up one side after I glue it? So I kind of do a combination of all of those things. Now the art glitter glue is working, so that's nice. Let's see. Putting that one on, I think I get it a little crooked. And the glue's oozing, so I gotta do a quick mop up. Yeah, it isn't on quite straight. And like I said, if the strip is on a little crooked or not quite right, it will buckle the page and then it won't lay in the binder right. So I take it off, reapply, redo. And then I'm just gonna trim off all the excess here off the back side. It has it's kind of sticking up on one corner, so I'm going to go back and fix that here in just a minute. And punching where the holes ought to be. And then drawing attention to them with the whole colored reinforcers. Oops, that one's crooked. Gotta readjust. Isn't that cute? Now I'm on to the second page. I had a lot of my head in the shot, so it got edited out. But I'm creasing this one around both sides. The strip was a little bit wider. And then I covered up my guide hole, so I had to use the template to remember where to punch the holes at. Making sure it's on there good and tight, good and firm. There's 2, and now to this one, I just really like the tree. It's got kind of that rough edge there, so I was trying to figure out what do I want to do, and on this one I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half and trim with my the big scallop scissors there, and trim off the rough part. And since it's a little wide anyway, that works because now it'll fit my page exactly right. There we go. Let's see, what am I doing? I don't know. Oh, instead of trying to glue the page, I just glue the strip, so I needed to measure it up against the page, so I didn't glue too far. And making sure everything's straight and giving it a good firm press and trimming off the top and punching new holes. There it goes. There we go. All three, they're all very pretty. They are pronounced done. Thumbs up of approval. Now here is that wallpaper piece, and I kind of wish that I had thought more about what I was doing before I just cut it in half. I'm straightening up the edge there because it's not quite 100% straight. It never was. So getting my crease evened out and straightening that edge. And what I'm going to do is just use a piece of this wallpaper to reinforce the other side. And ideally, I should have folded it over, like I'm showing you there, and just folded it over onto itself and glued it down and then punched the holes. But I did not think about that before I started cutting it apart. Otherwise, I would have given myself some extra room to do that with, and then maybe made a little bit longer page for the binder, but it's okay. It'll be all right. Putting on the pretty decorative strip, and now it makes the back side look a little less blah. Putting my holes back in. And that's going to end up being the front side, I believe. And this will be the back side. But now, see how much prettier it looks? And then we just add those little reinforcers that have been inked up for a little extra pop of color. And now it just looks really pretty. So, not too pretty for our boy journal, but pretty enough. So there's the front, there's the back. The crease keeps trying to go crooked on me. When I put it in the binder, I may decide to just glue that down once and for all. So now I'm looking at these, and I'm going to have to get strips of paper from the other pieces I had cut off that are much bigger. So I gotta go grab those here. And you saw me looking at that flap that wasn't glued down. I think I'm going to leave it so that it just folds down when it goes into the binder. Now I'm trying to figure out which of those papers look good. So I need one more. There we go. Pumpkins. Very fitting. So I'm going to trim these down after I decide who goes with which page. And then once I decide that, I change my mind. Creative, whatever, I don't know. Artist prerogative, I guess you could say. So now we're going to give them a quick trim. I should have done 4 because I still have to do that skinny strip, but we run out of time and I don't get to do it right now anyway, so I guess it all worked out in the end. So I like the orange against the brown better over there, and I like the yellow on the blue with the sunflowers, and I like the plaid with the orange, so that's how we're going to do it. And then I was just trying to figure out how to lay that strip on the blue September page. Do I want it to tuck inside and run down? I think it's better to just glue it on the back where it's all one piece. And that page had already been glued together. I was kind of checking it out to see if I could let that one fold down also, but the prior owner had already glued it. So that's okay. We'll just use it that way. And now I'm too lazy to get up and use my bone folder, and that paper's kind of stiff. So I'm using the edge of my scissors to press it down with, and wiping up some extra glue there. And then I'm just going to secure that pocket on both sides. I mean, technically you don't have to, but it was looking kind of loose in the binder too. So once the holes are punched, I'm going to add those yellow hole reinforcers to the side and giving it a little extra pop again. And it just directs your eye to the correct hole, you know, adds a fun element and is a visual aid as well. And I'm going to put, I think, blue. Yep, blue on the back side. Now we're going to do the same thing with the plaid strip to the orange October page. It's not coming out of the bottle. I didn't get quite enough, so I had to go back and re-glue it. Headshot. And trimming to fit. And then we're going to re-punch the holes and add our hole reinforcers for more color and pop. I like the blue on that. It stands out. It's really cute. And this side gets kind of a tanny brown to match the pumpkin and the color that's already on that side. I was kind of wishing I had done green when I inked up my reinforcers, but it still looks really cute with the colors I have. And then here, I'm trying to figure out how I want to line everything up and make it so that that flap will fold down, and so you can use it as extra writing space once it's in the journal. So gluing down my pumpkins, they wind up a little crooked. And I have some trimming to do. Whoops, got a little extra gluing to do too. And now I've got glue on my fingers, but I shouldn't be taking time to peel that off. Here we go, giving it a little trim. It looks kind of crooked to me. I don't know what I did there, but anyhow. Yep, definitely crooked. We're gonna match up the holes. And then I'm going to cut a little slit there so that when you fold it in and out of the binder, it can just wrap around the ring that'll be in the binder. But the other hole, the pre-existing hole, is very close to the new hole, so I'm going to cover that over. I'm going to just patch it with a little scrap there so that you don't get confused. I think it looks cute too. It just goes with our little patches theme. And now we know exactly which hole is the right hole. Those yellow reinforcers look really pretty against the brown. And then the dark brown reinforcers here. And then we are just about out of time, so I'm showing you the finished product here and pronouncing it done. There we go. Okay, everybody, that is it for today. That was a super duper fast clock. I swear it sped up. I was having some glue issues there, so that took a little bit of my time. But here's what we did today. Cannot believe it. So I hope this gave you a few ideas. I'll finish this guy later because obviously we're out of time. But you get the gist. You understand what I'm doing. But didn't those turn out cute? I like how these kind of pick up the flavor of the pages in the book, you know, with all these pretty little strips from all the different pages. I think it just helps it tie in. And then of course this one just reinforcing where that was close to the edge, and a couple others with these weaker papers. If you found value from this video, please give it a thumbs up. That will help me more than you know. If you'd like to see more of my channel content and you are not yet a subscriber, then please hit the subscribe button, and then that will put me in your feed. You can also ring the notification bell to be alerted whenever I post something new. So I appreciate everybody being here and hanging out with me today. So I will continue doing these videos for the next few weeks, just so you can see what I did. There will be some things that I definitely do off camera, or else this would drag on for weeks and weeks, but anyway, I just thought it might be interesting for you. So let's move on to our inspiration for today. Our inspiration for today comes again from the sweet book, Table Graces, Prayers of Thanks. And I wanted to close. When you see this, I believe it will be the day after Election Day, and we'll be getting close to Thanksgiving. So once again, focusing on thankfulness and gratitude and being grateful for the things that we absolutely do have and choosing to focus on those things. So many things that we've had to do without this year, but it builds character and it helps us to truly be grateful for the things that we do have, and maybe look around and see where we can help other folks and pitch in and help now more than any other year for a long time. So I just want us to think about this, and maybe next time when you're sitting down with your family and eating, or your next Thanksgiving meal, just remember these words. This is a prayer, it's a children's grace, but it says, Lord, we thank thee for our food. Make it help us as it should. Make us strong to work and play day by day. Thou art very kind and good. Lord, we thank you for our food. So that is our inspirational thought for today. Help us to be focused and grateful, and to put our attention on the things that actually matter, and to keep those first and foremost in our mind. So until next time, I'd like you to be inspired and do something creative today. I'll catch you next week right back here as we finish working on, well, maybe not finish, as we continue to work on our fall journals. All right, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.